Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana.
Well, hello again. Alan Chance back here. We're going to talk about a movie we saw today, and it's the latest Marvel movie, Eternals. And so we've got some thoughts about the movie, and I'll start out by saying that we went to the AMC Big D Cinema here, close to me, in the Atlanta area. It's a huge screen, nice theater. And so we went there and saw the 3:15 show. And The Eternals is a different Marvel movie, I'll have to say. It's not like any Marvel movie I've seen before. It runs 2 hours and 37 minutes and was directed by, pronounce her name for me? Chloe
Zhao.
Chloe Zhao.
Chloe Zhao.
Chloe Zhao. She's British.
Spelled with a Z, but it's Zhao.
It's Zhao. It's spelled Z-H-A-O. She's Chinese. She's from Beijing, China. And her first movie was songs my brother told me back in 2015. But she won the Academy Award last year for Nomadland with what's her name? Frances McDormand. Yeah, great movie. Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't.
But Chloe directed that.
Did you see it?
Oh, yeah, I have it on DVD. It's good. But she directed The Eternals.
Well, what's it about?
At a cost, I'll tell you later,
Okay.
at a cost of $200 million. And so, we'll start out with The Eternals. It's sex and nudity. Really, there's none. There's no sex and nudity.
There's sex.
Yeah, but it's very mild.
Well, it's like they're making love.
Right.
It's
And
a
violence
PG-13 section,
you know-
but you don't see anything. There's no nudity.
Well, the violence in gore is kind of moderate.
I would say so, too, yeah.
Yeah,
You're right.
it's moderate. Fighting is moderate. You know, really, if you think about it, there wasn't a lot of action in the movie. There was with the creatures, I guess, the deviants, but there
We'll
wasn't.
explain who the deviants are in a moment.
Right.
And there was no bad language that I could tell either, really.
No, there wasn't. Well, why don't you start out by telling us how the Eternals came about? It's based on the comic book.
Yeah, Jack Kirby, who created the Fantastic Four with Stan Lee back in 1961 and created the Marvel Universe that we know today in the movies,
Right.
left Marvel in 1970. And when he returned in the mid-70s, he created the Eternals, which didn't last long. The first issue of the Eternals, which introduced these characters, was released to newsstands in April of 1976 with a July 76 cover date. It's always 3 months ahead of real time. And the original Eternals lasted only 19 issues, and there was one annual, which is just like it sounds, a book they put out once
Right.
a year. It's a double-sized, sometimes a triple-sized book. And then there was a 12-issue miniseries in 1985, The Eternals.
Right.
So they've tried to bring the characters back. Now, in terms of the movie, who they are, they're immortals. Oh, they're immortals. You hit a button there.
I was checking my cue. That's
Oh,
all.
okay. Well, it cut my mic, but it's okay. So in the plot in the movie, it's the year 5000 BC.
Right.
And there's 10 superpowered Eternals, as they're called, from the planet Olympia.
Right.
Including a character played by Angelina Jolie, and she looks fantastic in
Well,
this
I have
movie.
to say, she looks great on screen. I like her anyway, and she's very photogenic. Say what you will about her, I think she's a good actress, and she looks great in this movie. She absolutely looks wonderful.
She hasn't aged a day since I saw her in Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt, her ex-husband. Anyway, so these 10 Eternals are sent by the celestial...
Well, I have a picture. There's Angelina Jolie on the...
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
They're sent to Earth to fight these deviants that are invading Earth and creating chaos on the Earth. And over the millennia, throughout different periods of time, the Eternals protect humanity from the deviants, but they're not allowed to interfere in human evolution. They kind of got that from Star Trek. I know you're not real hip to Star Trek, but in Star Trek there was something called the Prime Directive, where the Federation could not interfere in lower forms of life that would affect the development of their society. Now, there is one of the Eternals who actually does sort of give technology to Earth. Remember the character?
Yes.
And so over time, and he regrets giving them the technology that led to the atom bomb. And there's a cool scene. I'm jumping ahead here where he goes to Hiroshima, Japan.
Hiroshima, because he said he could have prevented it without
giving. Well, he felt guilt and remorse because he gave the technology
of the atomic bomb
to mankind to build the atomic bomb, and he's looking at the destruction. But anyway, so that's the basic plot. I kind of went all over the place with that, but these Eternals are here to protect humans from the deviants, and they're sent by a higher power. And what would you say else about the plot, Al Hardee, of the Eternals?
Well, it's kind of convoluted. It jumps all over the place. That's one thing I had sort of against the movie. I said, what is going on? I mean, they're bouncing back and forth between time periods, and a lot of stuff wasn't explained.
It's very confusing. And I know what's going on because I've read the comic books. Speaking of comic books, Al, here's one for the camera. If you're listening at fistfulofradio.com, this is on the YouTube channel, The Nostalgic Podblast, and in the Facebook group, The Nostalgic Podblast. Can you see that on the camera, or do you want to hold it up closer?
Right there. See?
That's issue number 2 of the Eternals. And that introduced a lot of characters. Issue 1 is the main one you want, but that's the first appearance of Ajax, the character played by actress Salma Hayek in this movie. And, I never liked the comic book. I'm not trying to be negative, but it didn't really fit with the Marvel Universe.
Well, there's the comic cast on screen.
Right.
They're fine.
In the old days of the 70s, I think they interacted with Thor and Iron Man, and they're just not really main characters, and that's why it's kind of offbeat. Now, that can be a plus. These are different characters you may not be familiar with. It's not like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, God of Thunder. But I just found it to be an extremely confusing movie. And I guess we're going to have some spoilers here to elaborate on that, so this makes sense.
Let's try not to give spoilers, because a lot of people want to see it. I don't want to give any spoilers away. So let's try
not major spoilers, but let's just say there's a major betrayal where one of the characters is killed, like by another good Eternal. She's thrown off a cliff to the wolves, to these creatures, and she's devoured and destroyed, and it doesn't make sense. It's never explained why this good guy turned. And that character is played
by one of my favorite actresses, Salma Hayek.
Yeah,
and that's not explained. I don't know why. He said, "There's something I want to show you," because remember they were sitting on the front porch in South Dakota,
right,
at this house, and so the Eternals guy, hear my cuckoo clock. He says, "There's something I want to show you." No. They're in Alaska. Remember? Right. And so they all walk out there, and then he pushes her over, and I don't understand why he killed her.
Right. Icarus, played by Richard Madden, who looks a lot like Henry Cavill, who plays Superman in the current Superman movie.
He was in Game of Thrones.
Right.
That's what made him famous.
All right. Now we're all over the place here.
But I never watched Game of Thrones.
Oh, you didn't? I did.
Yeah, I watched some of it.
There's kind of an interesting line where a kid mistakes him for Superman. He goes, "Hey, you're Superman," and I thought that was
kind of funny. Yeah.
Well, it's not really laugh out loud funny, but it's humorous and interesting to me because that's a competitor. Superman is DC, a competitor of Marvel Comics, so it's kind of weird that interplay that they integrated that and gave a plug to Superman.
Right. That's true. But but he's good at it. But like I said, I don't understand why he went rogue. That's not explained. Why is that explained? He goes rogue and
he just whacks Salma Hayek's character for
Yeah,
no reason, and
for
it's
no-
not really explained. There might be some cut scenes that'll be shown on a Blu-ray or on Disney Plus down the line that makes it make more sense. But I don't know. I just thought it was very strange.
Well, I like Salma Hayek. You know, I mentioned earlier to you before the show that she got into being an actress after she saw Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original one in 1971 with Gene Wilder.
Which you saw recently for the first time in your whole life.
That's right. But she said she saw that movie and she says, I want to do that. I want to be in the movies.
Did you, not to digress here, did you like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Sure.
Yeah, I did
like
too.
it. Yeah, I like the
Why'd
original.
you wait so long to see it?
Just something I didn't want to see, I guess.
Did you see the remake with Johnny Depp?
Yeah, I liked it.
So you saw the remake before the original.
Right. The remake's quirky. But Angelina Jolie's my favorite in the movie. I think she's terrific. I just like watching her on screen. And
Do you now?
yeah, I do.
Well, talk about the budget of the movie.
$200 million. Wow. That's a
big
lot
chunk
of
change.
money.
Yeah.
But I noticed that the movie Eternals is shot. I love the cinematography, but it's shot, excuse me, very dark. It just, what I
What do you
mean by
mean?
dark, it's just a lot of dark scenes.
Like nighttime or what?
Yes. Well, you know, there's a lot of scenes like when they were in the Amazon
Or in a cave.
or in a cave.
Yeah.
They were, you know, it was just really dark, and a lot of it is shot dark. So you have to, understand that that's just the way that the cinematographer wanted to shoot it. But I like it. It looks good, but it's just a dark looking movie.
Great visuals in the movie, but it is very slow. I tell you what, I think it's very slow.
Well, it lulls. It
God,
does.
it does.
It lulls. Halfway through it, but it picks up. But if you think about it, when the deviants, there's really not a lot of battles between the deviants and the superheroes.
right.
There's not.
The Eternals, yeah.
The Eternals. Just not. There's not a lot of. It's a lot. It's a talkie in a way, but it's just not a lot of action that you expect to see in a Marvel movie.
And there's
that's just my take on it.
Right, and there's one teenage-looking girl. Her character's name's 7-Up.
Sprite.
Sprite. That's it. Sprite.
Why do they call her Sprite? But I like that name.
You do?
Yes, Sprite.
It's kind of like the ultimate product placement, isn't it?
Well, she wanted to be a human, and so I won't tell you if she becomes a human or not in the movie towards the end. But she wanted to grow old and die. She didn't want to live forever, like the Eternals. But there was one character in the movie that I did like. The guy that was directing a movie with, what's the actor's name? He's one of the Eternals. He's funny.
Well, the one you thought was was Borat?
Yeah, I thought he looks like the guy that played Borat. But
He played Kingo. I can't pronounce. Kamal Nanjiani or something.
I liked him in the movie, but there's
Well, you kept nudging me during the movie and distracting me, saying that's Borat. And I said, that's
it
not
look- but it-
Borat. That's
I-
not Sacha
but
Baron
it
Cohen.
looks just like him. It looks just like him.
You think? I disagree.
I just think he does.
Okay.
But I like the guy that played the director of the movie that this character was shooting before he went back and became another.
Now you're talking about a human who's like an Indian dude.
You know, he's like Indian, but he travels with the Eternals, but he's always shooting video of them because he's a director. But I've noticed there's one scene where one of the Eternals gets mad, Sprite, and she knocks the camera out of his hand when they're shooting. And so, but the next scene, he's got a different camera. Then another
that's not
scene,
explained.
he's got another camera. I think they did it as a joke.
But it's not. They should have shown him
I
taken
just
out of
think-
his pocket or something. I think it's a plot hole or bad editing. I think scenes may have been cut that explain all these plot holes in the movie.
When he's filming, plus he's trying to, to catalog the Eternals and what they're doing, and so because he's a director in real life.
But he's more like P.T. Barnum. He's kind of like
He's a comical
sideshow.
character.
All right, yeah.
He's a character. He's just a side character.
I don't
in the
know
movie.
if you really explain this, for people that are listening that have not seen the movie yet, but this one Eternal, because they are eternal, they have to make a living and they have to survive and they live
human lives, but they're Eternals.
human lives. So one of them, this guy Kingo, is working basically for like a video circus, and he's the star.
Right.
And he's a performer, and so this videographer sort of latches onto him. He realizes, holy crap, this guy is an Eternal. He's like a god.
Right.
And so he sort of gets the inside track, and he starts documenting the Eternals. It's kind of a silly, cheesy plot point.
Yeah, it is, but like I said, I didn't dislike the movie at all. Out of 5 stars, I give it 3. maybe 3.5.
Yeah, I give it, out of 5 yawns, I give it 4 yawns. Because I found it boring.
Yawns.
I found it boring. I did. And I'm a Marvel guy.
Yeah. Well,
And
you're
I
the Marvel guy.
The one before this was Shang-Chi, the Master of Kung Fu.
I enjoyed that.
I like that one too, but I hope it's not jumping the shark. I don't think it is. I'm a Marvel guy, but this one didn't really grab me. You know what I'm saying? I just thought they're starting to go down in quality. Like, I didn't feel any emotional attachment to these characters. I didn't give a crap when one of them died. The music, the music wasn't good. The music was not good. You want to get that? Maybe that's
No, it's nobody calling.
All right.
But I get a lot of
spam.
But you're true. I mean, I didn't care about the characters. I liked them a little bit, but I didn't really care about them. If one of them got killed, it wouldn't have bothered me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Unlike the other movies, like say an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
I mean, for those that haven't seen the Marvel movies, like our friend Michael Hopkins, who we had lunch with today at Red Robin, he's like, I think I'm going to skip it. I've just never seen the Marvel
guy.
And that's fine. But you're missing out on a lot of fun. Because there's a lot of reality in these movies. It's not just comic book stuff. It's not just a comic strip.
Well,
it's done with a lot of reality.
Let's take a look at the Marvel trailer.
Yes.
Let's take a look at that. And here it is, right here.
5 years ago, Thanos erased half of the population of the universe. But the people of this planet brought everyone back with a snap of a finger. The sudden return of the population provided the necessary energy for the emergence to begin.
How long do we have?
7 days.
We're Eternals. We came here 7,000 years ago to protect humans from the deviants.
Why didn't you guys help fight Thanos? Or any war, or all the other terrible things throughout history?
We were instructed not to interfere in any human conflicts unless deviants are involved.
By who?
We need to find the others.
I haven't seen some of them for centuries.
Hi.
Hello.
This is what the end of the world looks like. At least we have front row seats.
You know what's never saved the planet? Your sarcasm.
We have loved these people since the day we arrived. When you love something, you protect it.
You can't protect. Any of them.
I bet you've built the perfect safe house. I mean, what's this even made of? Vibranium?
Fall collection. IKEA.
The Eternals.
It's a great trailer.
It was the Eternals in the comics, but it's Eternals
It's
in the
Eternals in the movie. And if you go see the movie, go see it in a nice theater on a big screen. It'll add to it, you know, because the theater we go to has got a huge screen.
It's one of the biggest in the Southeast.
Right.
It's called the Web Gin AMC Theater in
yes,
Snellville, Georgia.
It's actually in Lawrenceville.
Is it?
Yes. But anyway, one thing I want to mention about the Eternals is its pretension to be like godlike. Because they have this, what do you call the guy that he thinks he's God? He created the Eternals and he created everything. And so he's saying that I created you I can, basically destroy you if I wanted to. But I get the feeling, I don't want to say it's sacrilegious, but it's got that godly message. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Where we all know there's only one God, that created life as we know it. But anyway,
You get on your religious soapbox, and
well,
that's okay.
no, not really. But didn't you feel that? Didn't you think that?
You thought it was blasphemous or sacrilegious?
Oh, no. I think it's entertainment.
I think it's
but it made me think about that.
I think it's like Norse mythology. And I think of it like that. It's kind of a take on that. And it's really not very well written. Jack Kirby, when he created these characters in 1976, he's primarily an artist.
Right.
Not a writer, and he wrote this. He wanted to add that to his resume to give more oomph to his return to Marvel in
Now, what year
1976.
was that written again?
It was released in April 1976 with a July cover date. I have all the issues, all 19 in the annual,
All the
plus the
Eternals.
12-issue miniseries, and that's, if you want to hold that up again, that's the second issue. I just grabbed that to bring.
What is this worth?
Oh, it's not worth that much. It'll probably increase. That one's just maybe a couple $100. If it were like in perfect condition, like a 9.8 grade, I don't know, maybe $700. But it's probably going to go up now that the movie's out in value. But that issue, what's significant about the second issue, first appearance of the Celestials and Ajax, like I mentioned previously. Anyway.
Well, I mean,
And it has the first deaf superhero in this. One of the Eternals is deaf.
that's true because of the sign language.
Yeah. Lauren Ridloff plays that character, and she's Makari. Yeah. She's deaf.
Well,
Isn't that-
Disney
isn't that special?
Well, Disney hired Chloe to direct the Eternals back in 2018. I guess it was shot in 2019.
Yeah.
The following year, and of course, you got the Oscar for best direction of No Man Land when that came out.
I didn't really like it, man. I mean, it's visually appealing. It's great in the theater, but I got to tell you, in this particular
Well,
screening,
it's got terrific visuals. I'll give it that. It looks
Right.
good on the screen. It looks good, and it's got a big diversity cast, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
It's the cast is
Very
diverse.
diverse, yeah.
And it's a stylish looking movie, in its own way. More stylish than I think the other one.
Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
I
mean,
thought that
like-
was very stylish, Shang-Chi.
Well, it was, but I guess Eternals is more of a.
it's deep.
Well,
artistic.
it's more deep of an artistic type movie.
But it's got so many plot holes, though. The story is not good, in my opinion. Just like the comic book wasn't good, in my opinion.
Well, I don't read the comics.
A lot of people
so-
don't think they should have been brought into the Marvel Comics universe
Right.
of screen characters. Because, like I said, in the old days, they didn't really interact with Captain America, Iron Man, Thor. Well, they did with Thor after the comic was canceled, but that's another story. They branched off into Thor, which is kind of similar. It's Norse mythology. It's a god. It makes sense for the Eternals to cross paths with Thor.
Well, there's the Eternals on the screen now.
And there's two end credit scenes. We noticed a lot of people getting up and leaving the theater before the end credits. And by the way, a little side note, this particular theater, which we love, the WebGen Theater, they screwed up. They turned on the house lights just before the end credits started, so the whole screen is almost solid white, and we're having trouble watching two key end scenes during the end credits. It kind of was irritating. Another irritating thing, and this has nothing to do with the theater, someone brought their baby into that screening, was crying the whole time, and then next to me a lady's coughing, and then one guy was making these pig-like noises throughout the whole movie, going,
Well, it's funny. I didn't hear any of that. I didn't. My hearing is not great these days. But
and I was closer to him. You were on the other side.
I did hear the baby towards the end of the movie, but it was
the baby was going off throughout. But this guy was going, I couldn't believe you hear it. And remember, I noticed you. I go, can you hear that? And this guy was just making pig sounds.
I explained to you, the reason they bring the house lights up during the end credits of a movie, when the credits are rolling, is because people get up and leave. And it really protects the theater in case, all right, say you got up during the credits and you tripped and fell because there was no lights you couldn't see. And one reason they bring them up, they do have aisle lights.
That's what I was going to say. What do you mean? Because they have also
they have the
side
aisle
lights.
lights,
They brought up the lights from the ceiling, which are super bright LEDs.
Well, I
shining right on the screen.
I understand why they do that, but during this particular movie, when they know a Marvel movie has extra scenes in the end credits, maybe, and after the end credits, they shouldn't bring them up.
Well, in a day and age where most people are just sitting at home and watching and streaming movies, and they're really struggling to get people in the theater, they should have it flawless. They shouldn't make mistakes like that. I know it's a computer thing, but I did talk to the manager, and I complained. And
well, you got a free pass.
Well, I said, "Are you going to hook me up for this?" And she goes, "What do you mean hook you up?" And I said, I said, like a free popcorn. I said, I don't want to go overboard here because I did see most of the movie. I didn't even talk to her about the guy making pig sounds right next to me and the lady coughing and the baby. That's not really their fault. I mean, that just goes with the territory.
Well, I talked to that guy
when
the movie was over, and I asked him if he liked the movie. He said he liked it. So
I think the guy was asleep that was making the pig sounds.
That's what it was.
I don't know. I looked over. I couldn't tell. It was dark, but.
Well, you shouldn't say anything because 4 times you picked your cell phone up and looked at
Briefly, someone was texting me.
Well, that's okay. I have my phone turned. People texted me for a while, but I had it in my pocket. I said, I'll check it later. Because when you open up your phone, it's bright. It lights up your face. I mean, people sitting next to you can see that.
And then it took them forever to bring my popcorn. I sound like I'm on a soapbox here. But another theater I like, Studio Movie Grill, there's a button you press and a server comes and tends to you. At this theater, you have to pay at the bar.
Right.
Oh, we'll bring it to you. What's your theater?
But you have to remember, they have 18 screens to serve there, and it's a dine-in theater. So you have to,
I like to eat my popcorn after the previews, as the opening credits are rolling or in the opening scene. That's just me. I know I'm being picky. But that damn popcorn didn't come until maybe 20 minutes after the movie had begun.
No. It wasn't that late.
You sure about that?
Yeah, it wasn't that late.
Well, I like that theater.
You shouldn't complain because you got it for $5. On my,
The popcorn, you mean?
Yeah, since I'm an A-list member, I get cheap popcorn.
Tell people what A-list is. Let's give them a plug.
Well, if you like movies like I do, I joined the AMC A-list. The reason I joined AMC and not Regal, there's not a Regal theater near me, so I joined the AMC.
My favorite, Regal and Studio Movie Grill.
And so what I did,
and Georgia Theater Company.
I joined AMC for $20 a month, and I get to see 3 movies a week. Plus, you earn points if you buy concessions. And so the most I've ever had points was like $20 I could apply to concessions. So every time you buy something, like today, that popcorn you bought gave me points on my account.
I know.
So that's why.
I knew it would. I knew it would. So it's a monthly thing. It sounds like a pretty damn good deal. Did you mention the price? I was half listening. I'm sorry.
It's $20.
A month?
Yeah, $20 plus tax, $21 maybe, something like that.
That's pretty good. That includes your admission?
But if like the theater today, the matinee was $11 for you. And if you go to that theater at night, it's $14.
That's what I'm saying. Why would someone bring a baby to a premium price movie screening like that? I don't understand. Get a babysitter.
Well, that is true. That is true.
It's just inconsiderate.
Well, this is off topic. This is off topic, but I can't stand it when I go to Mass and people bring their kids in there and they whine and scream and yell and stuff during Mass, and the parents don't take them to the cry room or take them out.
That's where you want to just baptize the kid immediately. Let's get them. They've already been baptized. Let's do it again. Put them under the water. Shut them up.
I guess so.
I'm just kidding.
But so, would you recommend The Eternals?
No. I would recommend you watch it at home, like on FX, maybe 2 years after it's been released.
Well, it's not streaming. Disney's not streaming.
I'm saying. I just said FX. I'm even. Well, yes, certainly on Disney Plus, which will be very soon, probably the next 3 months or so.
Yeah,
they'll have it on Disney Plus. I will wait for that. Look, I'm not sucking up to anybody. I'm never going to do anything with Disney, so I have nothing to hold back on. A lot of people suck up and don't tell the truth.
I will recommend
these movie reviews.
I will recommend the movie if you like Marvel movies. I say, well, go see it and then judge for yourself.
It's artistic.
I
gotta say, there is a lot of positives about it, but I just thought the plot was terrible. It didn't make sense. Did it make sense to you?
It was hard to follow. I'll give you that. It was hard to follow.
And I didn't understand that betrayal when he pushed that girl over the cliff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Salma Hayek. I don't know why he killed her, but
it's not explained.
It's not explained.
Did I miss? I didn't even get up to take a leak or nothing. I didn't miss anything.
No.
I watched the whole thing and it made no sense.
Well, it's like I said, I recommend it. But if you don't see it, just wait and see it on television.
What are you doing with the CD player over there?
I was reloading the CD.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Of course, it's your house, it's your studio, baby.
All right.
Now, there's more we can say about this movie real quick without giving too much away. Let's think about the good. We talked about the deaf character. That was good. Well, should we talk about this? Oh, you didn't want to talk about the... There's a lifestyle. There's an alternative lifestyle.
Well, that's why it's a diversity cast, which I had no problems with.
Right.
It
was done
It was
Not
tasteful.
that there's anything distasteful about an alternative lifestyle, don't get me wrong, but it was done fine.
Yes.
I don't know what the controversy is about. It's fine.
Well, most reviews I've seen in the movie didn't even mention that.
Right.
They just said diversity. They like the
There's
diversity.
a brief moment where two dudes kiss in it.
Well,
It's
I
very
mean,
brief.
but all you got to do is just go and watch the movie and judge for yourself and see if you like it.
Right, and it's an Eternal and a human. That's the couple,
yes.
and they have a kid, a
Right.
son.
So,
But yeah,
you know.
and then what else could we say without giving too much away? Oh, I have my notes right here.
Well, I just recommend it, and we've gone like 30 minutes, but I recommend the movie if you like Marvel movies. If you don't, then go watch something else.
And Jack Kirby, who created the Eternals, as we mentioned previously, he created the New Gods for DC when he left Marvel in 1970 to go there. So at this point in his career, he just had a thing for creating godlike characters. Did you show the other picture? You showed Angelina, right? Yeah, you showed Angelina.
I showed all the pictures, yes.
All right, cool. One more thing. I don't know. Judge for yourself, but I'm telling you, the movie doesn't make any sense, and I'm a Marvel nerd. But, Al, I thought there was something else you wanted to say about that movie.
No, the godlike thing is what I wanted to mention. I've already mentioned that.
All right, well, I guess we'll wrap. Can I plug something real quick? Real quick. This is on the Nostalgic Podblast. I'm going to do a show Saturday because we're going to see our friend Jim Gossett perform Sunday night. He's a comedian at the Atlanta Comedy Theater Sunday night, and so I'm going to do my little regular show in the Nostalgic Podblast Facebook group. But the Fall Guy turned 40. I just want to hold this up for the camera.
Well, you can hold it right there.
That's
Right
kind
here.
of a lot of people think is a cheesy 80s action comedy by Glenn A. Larson, who had done shows like Battlestar Galactica, BJ and the Bear, which are terrible shows. Here I'm bitching about a bad plot in the Eternals, but here is something I want to hold up. That's a British annual. In England, they would make these hardcover books based on TV shows and comic books, and it's kind of neat. There's that cover, and Fall Guy debuted on ABC on November 4th, 1981. I'm going to just do a little highlight show as well as my regular format. Here's another British annual. I'll just have this and one more to hold up for the camera. And there's little stories in there about the actors, and they're kind of neat. It's just from my collection. And then real quick, Markie Post, who died in 2021, she had a birthday November 4th. There's kind of a neat picture of her on the set of The Fall Guy in her chair. And on the back, you'll see Lee Majors getting his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame from way back in 1984. Look at that. This is from my collection. And the real star of The Fall Guy was the truck, the GMC Sierra truck, which was loaded. It was a loaded truck at the time. And one cool thing about the character Colt Seavers, not cool, but kind of strange, he didn't ever use a gun. He would use a prop gun, but there was one episode where he used a real gun. It was actually the second episode that ever aired titled The Meek Shall Inherit Rhonda. And there he is with his co-star Douglas Barr holding a gun. And on the back, if you hold that right up, there's a stunt shot. You see the crew watching Colt's truck, that GMC Sierra. That's one of the stunt trucks making a jump. So I just wanted to show that. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about Glenn A. Larson, who was, at the time, a TV mogul. He had a lot of shows going on at once, kind of like a mini Aaron Spelling. And then, of course, celebrity birthdays and the regular stuff I do, and a giveaway and a game, a tagline game. Going to have soft drink taglines and all sorts of stuff. But that'll be this weekend in the Nostalgic Podblast Facebook group live, and then on fistfulofradio.com. It'll air Monday night at 7 and
all right.
the following weekend.
Well,
now, what other movies are we going to see? We're going to see in about a month the new Spider-Man movie that I'm really excited about.
That'll be at the Big D Cinema.
And we could see like a movie you picked that's new, that's deep, that's not superhero or sci-fi, maybe a comedy.
I go see movies all the time.
I know, but let's see another.
The last movie I saw before Eternals is one that I really like called Antlers.
There you go.
It came out. It's a Fox Searchlight movie. It was filmed in 2018, actually, and I guess it held it up during COVID. But it's a terrific horror movie, and it's very stylistic, and it's more of an art house movie. But Antlers is basically it's called Antlers because the creature grows antler-like things out of his body to attack his victim.
Oh, wow!
And it's a wonderful movie. It's highly entertaining.
Because you called into my show and reviewed that, but for people
Antlers.
that tune into your areas and
It's-
your platforms, you also saw Halloween Kills, which you didn't like, the new Halloween movie.
I thought that was pretty bad.
You didn't tell me Michael Anthony Hall's in that cast.
Yeah, he is. I just didn't
from
like
the
the
John
movie.
Hughes movies and Weird Science.
Even though Halloween Kills was filmed in my hometown of Wilmington, it was
well, he was on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune Sunday night talking about that movie. That's how I'm like, damn, Al, I don't remember you mentioning that he was in the cast.
I
That's of
forgot.
interest to me,
Right.
being a Generation Xer. And what was the other movie you reviewed? Dune.
Dune.
A lot of people I know say it's slow, it's boring,
Dune is
it's crap.
It's a masterpiece. It's
Okay.
a wonderful movie. That's all I can say about it.
Can you elaborate? I mean,
Go
just
see-
real quick, cinematography. Is it
Everything about it is good.
the
You
acting,
know,
the writing,
directing,
it held your attention?
Everything. Ridley Scott is just a terrific movie.
How long is it? Do you remember?
It's 2 hours and 30-some minutes.
Well, Eternals. Did we mention the length? I don't
2
think we
hours
did.
and 37 minutes. I did.
And I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah, it's good.
I was a little bored with the Eternals.
Yeah.
But make up your own mind. Don't listen. I never listen to critics. Do you, Al? I don't know why we're just expressing our opinions. Don't listen to us. Make up your
I'm
own
not
mind
a critic.
always.
I'm just a fan of movies.
Exactly. Same here. We're not journalists.
No.
We're just dicking around.
Well, thanks for listening, and thanks for joining us, and we'll be back soon with another movie update.
Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana.